right? Next.
Excellent. Congratulations. Before I read the next name, though, something I failed to mention here as I was reading the criteria. The Presidential Leadership Medal is actually the third highest recognition provided by Lions International. So these are very prestigious presentations we're looking at here today. The next one goes to Vice District Governor Debbie Mann.
Again, she was zone chairman, Debbie, at the time that I wrote this. Lion Debbie has demonstrated her leadership ability throughout her Lions career. Lion Debbie's efforts to serve and lead as the club, zone, district, and multiple district at the national level has greatly benefited our organization. She is well deserving of the 2019-2020 Presidential Leadership Award. At the time, she was currently, and I think she still is, serves as our District G Leader Dog Coordinator. At the time, she was currently serving as a G2 Zone Chairperson. She's now obviously first Vice District Governor-elect for the next upcoming year. She co-led a national fundraising project in 2012 where she rode her motorcycle through all 48 lower contiguous states in 24 days to raise funds and awareness for the Leader Dog program. Her and her husband raised about $45,000 during that period. She served as a District G's Women and Family Chairperson from 2016 to 2018, where women membership increased. She's been a presenter at the Lions Learning efforts in the USA Canada Forum, Northwest Lions Leadership Institution, Lions Leading Forum. And during her club president year of 2017-2018, under her leadership, the club started a branch club that translated into a new club and a new Leo club. She was part of the host of the USA Canada Forum, chairperson for registration, and she received the International President's Appreciation Certificate for that. She's completed her Lions University Bachelor's, Master's, and Doctor programs. She's completed the LCI Advanced Lions. And I believe since that time, she has attended the Faculty Development Institute. At the time was held in Houston, Texas, and I think she's now considered a certified trainer, if I have that right. So obviously, she has done a lot of work in the leadership and teaching areas, and she is very well deserving of the 2019-2020 Presidential Leadership Award. And again, I'll present the actual award to you tomorrow at the picnic. Thank you, Debbie.
Thank you, everyone. That's so surprising, but exciting too. Thank you.
International Director.
Okay, congratulations, Lion Debbie. Great job. The next several presentations will be Presidential Certificates of Appreciation. And as I mentioned before, these certificates are the fourth highest presentation from LCI. So the first presentation would be Lion Cindy Pickett, and I'm not exactly sure that zone chair or not here. I'm not positive.
I believe she is. And this certificate, International President's Certificate of Appreciation, I wrote this up and it's being given to past zone chair Cindy Pickett for her effort in initiating and getting the grant for the Lion Screening Unit out of her club, and also setting up appointments and getting that project rolling. So we appreciate all the effort that she and her husband have done regarding this this project. And with that, the picnic. But there's your certificate, Cindy. Well deserved.
Okay, we also have another certificate presentation. This will be Lion Louis Pickett.
And again, Louis was instrumental with Cindy with this project. So together they took the effort and got the grant and it's continuing into as it's developed. So again, thank you, Louis, and here's your certificate that will be presented tomorrow also.
And I think there is one last certificate to present, Lion Dan Peterson.
Yes, a lot of you probably don't know Lion Dan Peterson out of the Central Park Lions. Let me tell you a little story about how I ran into Dan and why I decided to give him request an award for him. On my visitations to the clubs, I arrived at Central Park probably a couple hours earlier than the meeting itself, just to check out the location, because it's in a park, it's in a residential area, and sometimes you can get lost trying to find something like this, and I want to make sure I showed up on time. So I was there a couple hours earlier, and I saw this individual, and he's alongside the park, just clearing brush and just working away and stop and talk to him or anything like that. But I kind of observed and saw what he was doing for a while. And then at the meeting a couple hours later, I returned and I was asking about this individual, and come to find out, not only does he clean up this area as a volunteer, he also took the initiative and made the effort to get a grant for the park. And they, I'm not sure can't remember exactly the amount of money that they got for the park, but it helped this park. And the park is right adjacent to the Lions Club, building. So with his effort and everything, and from what they were telling me, he's just spends hours and hours taking care of this park and the surrounding area. So with that, he is well deserving, and I will give it to I think probably the zone chair tomorrow But anyway, this is for Lion Dan Peterson, well deserved. Thank you, International Director Larry.
Hey, well, thank you, past Governor Steve. A year late, but still well deserved.
Okay, Mr. International Director, we'll get some awards for this year.
We'll keep that momentum going. Okay. All right. And District Governor medal to present to past District Governor Terry Sutphin.
Right, sure. Terry goes way back in Lions. In fact, he joined Lions in 1980.
Kind words. I'm just trying to be in the background and quiet and unobserved, but thank you for everything you said and recognize it's just being a Lion.
And from,
Thank you.
and from my position, I think it's long overdue. So, my congratulations to you.
Okay. Congratulations also, past Governor Terry. Well deserved. Now, Governor Doug has several presidential certificates of appreciation to present. Let's do the first one, past District Governor Steve Patterson.
Thank you. Like Daniel says, it takes teamwork to make the dream work. And my biggest challenge of all of them was to get you on Zoom. But I feel really excited about that. And the next goal is to figure out how to get your audio from breaking up. Thank you very much. And thank you, IB Larry, for coming and being our international guest. It was really a gift. So thank you.
Well, thank you so much. And congratulations, past Governor Mark. Next, we have a certificate of appreciation for past Zone Chair Helen Sutphin.
Helen Sutphin. Now, there is a person. She's been part of the Vancouver Lions Club since about 1997, and her husband, Leadership Award winner, was her sponsor.
You just have to unmute, Helen.
Thank you, Doug. Thank you ever so much. It's just fun being a Lion, and when you have so many wonderful people that you can call family and friends, it's amazing what everyone on this screen can do when we have the type of leadership that we have with the governors and the past district governors. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Helen.
Congratulations, Lion Helen. Next, we have an additional certificate of appreciation for Lion Rod Matty.
Well, as you know, thank you for the recognition, but as you know, I will accept it on behalf of the G3 Lions Foundation and the cadre of Lions that we have supporting us and keeping the records and helping us schedule and keep all of those kids' early childhood screening getting accomplished. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bird's unmuted too.
I second that.
Amen. And Lauren,
Well, congratulations to both Lions Rod and Irv. Well deserved.
absolutely. Thank you. Lauren, I want to thank you very much for joining us today and bringing those awards.
Thank you very much, Governor Doug. I've enjoyed, even though we couldn't be there, I've said it once, I'll say it last time here, you folks have had an awesome year, even with the pandemic. You've got Lions that really know how to serve. So thank you for the invitation. I really appreciate it.
Well, I was hoping you'd come out because, you know, we got together. We were going to visit Mount St. Helens while you were. Please give me the opportunity and the honor to transport you and show you Mount St. Helens.
Hope we can do that. Thank you.
Larry, I had a question about your Shave the Stash. In the event that you don't raise all of the money, are you going to have to take just the 1/2 off?
That's a great idea, Peter.
I'm just saying, it could happen. Yeah.
That could take a little bit off your chin. Much better.
Just wondered about it. I thought maybe half would be gone, so.
Yeah, my wife would like to see it all be gone, but that's okay.
All right.
Okay, so JD, we're ready to go into our breakout sessions?
I think we're just about there. I did have one thing for our international director. You know, if we could get you out here, the next time you come on out here, we'll be sure to take you by Altoona, Washington. We do have an Altoona in Washington. It's not just dedicated to Pennsylvania. It's a slightly smaller community than yours. Last census was at a beautiful spot down on the Columbia River here in 19G. So
I'd love to come out and see it. I'll tell you this very quickly. When we were at the International Convention in Germany several years ago, there was an Altoona, Germany, right outside of Hamburg. And we were invited to attend a meeting with the Lions there, as well as Altoona, Wisconsin. And I, for the life of me, can't remember the other Altoona, but there were 3 U.S. Altoona residencies with the German Altoona Club. We had the best of times, and we still communicate with those folks periodically. I'd love to see your Altoona.
we'll be sure to get you there. It's time for the afternoon learning sessions. Mark, do you wish to introduce them?
Yeah, so we have three different breakout rooms, and they're going to be about a few minutes to get everybody in there, but hopefully you'll take the time to slide in there as we finish out strong the spring conference. The first topic will be Leader Dog Trivia, and we have Lions Beth Slade and Mike Dengate from Leader Dogs for the Blind that are coming all the way from Rochester Hills, Michigan to be with us. And we also have the Knights of the Blind, the MD-19 committee. That will also be a very educational opportunity for you to gain a different perspective about a huge part of our service. And the third is attracting quality members to your club by our own global membership team coordinator, Lion Stephanie Odell. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the rooms, and you'll get to self-select. And if you...
All right. So anyway, I'm Andy Arvidsson. I'm chair of the MD-19 Knights of the Blind. We were approved by the District Council of Governors in October to be a committee. And since then, we've formed a council inside the committee and have written a chair, a vice chair, and a secretary. And we also have district representatives from 7 of the 19 districts.
7 of the 9.
Or 7 of the 9, yeah. 7 of the 19. I want us to grow. So be proactive, they say. Anyway, 80%, probably 80% of our membership is blind or visually impaired. And so we're in blindness and blind people to know about Lions is part of our goal here. We also have formed a couple of committees. With Art Rubin, we formed a Helen Keller committee to celebrate Helen Keller Month in June. We've also formed a technology committee, which helps make being on Zoom better and helps make other things in Lions better for people who can't see. On some of our Zoom meetings, we have people on phones that can't see stuff. So we see it at the screen, and people who can't see the screen can't see it either. So, which is always interesting. Even the president of my Lions Club will she'll hold something up to the screen, and she says, "Can everybody see this?" And I say, "No, I can't." And she thinks it's funny. But what's funny about it is I've asked her to describe stuff, and she says, "Well, it's," and she doesn't know how to describe stuff. So part of our goal is to help people know about us and help us know about Lions as well. We've been in touch with International Lions a lot, because if you go on and try to fill out a membership application to become a Lion, unless you can run a PDF, which blind people cannot run a PDF, you can't fill it out yourself. And so I've had a lot of longtime Lions members say, "That's okay, we'll do it for them." Well, that takes away the independence of the blind member who maybe want to join a club. And get that updated so that anybody that can use a screen, whether they can see it or not, can fill that out. And so it just takes a little manipulation and changing it from the PDF to a Word format. And that's some of the stuff we're doing. I contacted the International Lions Convention Committee and got them in contact with the American Council of the Blind, who put on a convention, 100 people on Zoom and webinar, and most of those people that were on there could not see the screen. So we're trying to get equal access for everybody, because I think because of diversity, like our International President Choi talks about, diversity includes all of us, whether you can see or not. And we have members in our home club that call on Zoom to our meetings. And so when they say, "See this," it's no, they can't just no way to see anything if you're on a phone. And so we're trying to get people educated on how to describe things and make things accessible for everybody. A friend of mine decided several years ago, we're going to create a bumper sticker that says, "Dumb people shouldn't own smartphones," and put it on bumper stickers and set it outside cell phone stores. So, because not everybody has a smartphone. I have a student who refuses to even have a computer, and he's in his 70s. He said, "No, I don't have a cell phone, I don't have a computer, I don't have anything." So we need to be able to reach everybody. And we can't do this if we don't become accessible for everybody. And so that's part of our mission, clubs and International Alliance, as accessible as possible. We've been working with a lot of the district governors. We've had some newsletters out. I was hoping we could get those little clippings on, because my wife Colette and I did a presentation, a 5-minute presentation in the dark. So it's a video with no vision on it. So you could, and we took about 5 minutes to talk about the process and the building of MD19, Lions of the Blind. So.
Are you ready to share a video?
Oh, hi. Is that Mark?
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you like to do that for us, please?
Which one do you?
My name is Colette Arvidsson, and I serve as Vice President of Anacortes Club. A quick note, don't adjust your screen. There's nothing wrong. It's intentionally black. Although most blind people are not usually totally without sight, it's definitely...
My name is Colette Arvidsson, and I serve as Vice President of Anacortes Lions Club. A quick note, don't adjust your screen. There's nothing wrong. It's intentionally black. Although most blind people are not usually totally without sight.
Yes.
It definitely isn't the whole image that they see. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm here with my husband, Andy Arvidsson, also a member of Anacortes Lions Club and chair of the MD19 Lions Knights of the Blind Committee, to share with you the project's Lions from throughout MD19. Our project is the formation of the Knights of the Blind Committee. It started with a suggestion by Art Rubin of Everett Central Lions Club that MD19 could benefit from a Knights of the Blind Committee. Now, it may seem strange, since many Lions are well aware of Helen Keller's challenge in 1925, that Lions become Knights of the Blind in the crusade against darkness. And Lions have wholeheartedly accepted that challenge, especially in its efforts to prevent avoidable blindness. But it is the second part of the Lions' global cause of vision that could use some enhancement, improving the quality of life for people who are blind or visually impaired. When Helen Keller challenged the Lions, her instructor, Annie Sullivan, was labeled a miracle worker. She was the first to accomplish some very amazing success that enabled Helen, who was both deaf and blind, to become an educated, influential author and activist. But today it is no miracle that people who are blind complete college and technical schools, have careers as machinists, lawyers, teachers, martial arts instructors, musicians, and even state lieutenant governors, to name a few. Unfortunately, accessibility continues to limit inclusion in both the workforce and community involvement. Awareness and accessibility are essential to being a part of rather than apart from.
Hi, I'm Andy Arvidsson. When I came to the Lions Club, the form was not available, the membership form was not available for me to fill out by myself. I had to ask for help. We would like to help change that so that people could sign up for themselves without having somebody at the Lions Club says, that's all right, we'll do it for you. Or having somebody say, well, if you don't write checks, that's okay, we'll pay your membership dues. We don't want to hand out or hand up, we want to give a handout and be part of service, be part of the whole idea of being a Lion. So our goal is try to help Lions learn about blindness and blind people learn about Lions so that we can be all inclusive and through diversity and harmony be one and all to help serve our public around us. We've created a technical committee chaired by a blind person to look at websites and forums and newsletters and magazines. The LCI magazine is being read by Lions, volunteered to record it so that we can hear it through MP3 players. It's also, we've contacted the LCI International Convention Committee to talk to them about making the Lions International Convention this coming summer accessible. And they responded to our concern and met with the American Council of the Blind, who put on a week-long convention and conference this summer, including voting, all managed by blind people. Speaking of that, our monthly meetings are held on Zoom, and the vice chair of the Knights of the Blind is totally blind and a new Lion, and she lets me know whose hands are raised and who is muted and not muted. As a totally blind person, she can do that through technology and a Zoom link. We're able to help communicate technology and the accessibility for people so that we can be included instead of separated from service work and meeting face-to-face and over Zoom, etc. We'd like to be able to connect with all of MD19, their clubs, their districts, and we've created 7 out of 9 district reps. And I hope you contact us, and we'll leave our phone number and email for anybody that would like to contact us. Thank you. Mark, would you like to go ahead and show the other ones so we don't run out of time? This is an LCI thing about Knights of the Blind. So we did not do it, LCI did.
Okay, let me load it here. Do you see it?
The third in a series of Centennial videos.
Yes, we see it, and we're going to use it.
The roaring 20s in the U.S. Everything was moving. Automobiles, pictures, and headlines. The stock market was booming. But for people who were blind, it was a time of struggle. Many viewed people who were blind as incapable of being educated, supporting themselves, or living independently. So they were kept home, closed off from the world. There were some residential schools and a few public school programs in the U.S. for blind children. Lions recognized the need to help and began their journey to become Knights of the Blind. Lions' mission to serve the blind began shortly after their founding in 1917. They created jobs making brooms and checked students' eyesight in school. In 1922, Lions in Cincinnati, Ohio, asked local schools what children who were blind needed most.
Imagine you had gone through your youth with nothing but school books to read.
For more than 40 years, Lions partnered with Clovernook Home for the Blind to produce the International Lions Juvenile Braille Monthly. It was filled with stories, games, and puzzles. Lions reported that it was the first Braille magazine for children.
All of us appreciate the magazine you send each month. It would be nice if we could talk to the Lions Club and tell them how much we like the magazine.
Lions encouraged clubs around the U.S. and Canada to provide it for free. Visually impaired students from Clovernook typed, printed, and bound the pages.
We are sure that no club has ever done anything more worthwhile.
In 1925, 7,500 Lions gathered at Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio for their annual convention. Helen Keller, accompanied by her teacher, Ann Sullivan, spoke to Lions.
I appeal to you, Lions. You who have your sight, your hearing. You who are strong and brave and kind. Will you not constitute yourselves Knights of the Blind in my crusade against darkness?
This became a rallying cry and energized Lions to do more on behalf of people who were blind and visually impaired. Delegates unanimously voted to make Helen and Ann honorary Lions, the first women to receive this honor. Houston Lion J.W. James, who owned a furniture business, was inspired to start employing women who were blind to make lampshades. Later, his club helped others earn a living sewing a variety of items.
Don't make the mistake by holding your blind workers down to menial tasks. Their fingers are capable of the most delicate work, which ought to command a higher price than what the blind usually do.
In California, Berkeley Lions formed the first scout troop for blind boys. With their peers, they explored the outdoors and learned citizenship. Lion George Ahern served as scoutmaster for many years.
My greatest thrill is watching these boys develop skills, broaden their interests, gain self-confidence, and thoroughly enjoy themselves.
In Illinois, Peoria Lions Club President George Bonham noticed his friend, a blind newspaper stand operator, struggle to cross the street as he held his black cane. Bonham thought that white canes with a red tip would be easier for drivers to see. His Lions Club convinced the city council to pass the first white cane law in 1930, giving blind pedestrians the right of way. By 1956, every U.S. state had white cane laws.
There is scarcely a community where the white cane of the blind is not as common as blindness itself.
Lions worked internationally for similar laws. The Boston and Manchester Lions Clubs partnered with Perkins Institute for the Blind to start Camp Allen in 1931. Named for Lion Edward Allen, the director at Perkins, it was the first camp to provide outdoor recreation for girls who were blind. It led to Lions establishing similar camps throughout the world. Through the years, Helen Keller continued to visit Lions clubs, praising them for their attitude toward the blind, which she called new to the world.
Lions are trying to help the blind as they would help one of their number who had met with a misfortune, and not as people different from everyone else.
In Michigan, the Detroit Uptown Lions launched a guide dog program in 1939 to help one of their own. When Glenn Wheeler couldn't get into a program, his fellow Lions created one with just $400 and a hat full of ideas. Known as Leader Dogs for the Blind, this program has helped thousands gain newfound freedom and independence.
With verbal commands and hand gestures, she directs Sherry to their destination.
That's still true today. Pauline Ulrich has had Leader Dogs for 52 years.
It's given me the opportunity to basically go anywhere I want to go.
Internationally, Lions have started and supported many other guide dog schools. In 1945, Lions opened the nation's second eye bank in Buffalo, New York.
A donor eye was used with a clear cornea. It was like putting a clear window where a frosted window was before. I'll never forget the very first day the doctor took the bandage off. It was the most beautiful sight there was.
Lions opened eye banks in many nations to help millions see again through corneal transplants.
You can't put a price on sight, especially to a little fella as small as he is that never has seen anything.
Across the U.S., Lions provided pocket braille writers, known as the blind man's fountain pen. Lions have also collected, recycled, and distributed millions of eyeglasses to people around the world through the Lions Eyeglass Recycling Program and Eyeglass Recycling Centers. Lions' work as Knights of the Blind and friendship with Helen Keller continue to grow. Lions awarded her the International Gold Medal in 1951. 2 years later, Helen spoke of her travels at the Lions International Convention in Chicago.
I had known that the Lions of the United States had chosen, as their basic activity, work for the blind, but I had not realized they had leaped over the wall of different languages to unite in their services to the captives of the dark.
One of her final public appearances was in 1961, when she was honored with a Lions Humanitarian Award. Throughout the 1960s and 70s, Lions' work as Knights of the Blind grew.
I'm Roy Rogers, and I've been checking my notes here in preparation to tell you a story. It's about a wonderful place in America where a group is working to rehabilitate blind men and women and boys and girls to learn to live with their blindness.
In India, we have many blind people, especially amongst the poor. The real tragedy is that so much of that blindness can be prevented.
In 1990, Lions Clubs International Foundation launched the Sight First program, taking Lions service to new levels. Major cataract campaigns help millions regain their sight. Sight First also helps eliminate sight-robbing diseases such as river blindness and trachoma.
The most gratifying part of it is what we do in partnership with Lions International.
I have a feeling standing here before you of gratitude for what Lions do throughout the world.
Sight First continues to establish comprehensive eye care systems. It's also increasing low vision services and educational opportunities for those who are blind. Though much has been accomplished, Lions remain steadfast in their commitment to serve as Knights of the Blind. They will not rest until everyone has a chance to live life to the fullest.
Someday, you will look over the fields of your endeavors. If I am still alive, I shall say, "Well done, good and faithful Knights of the Blind." And you will say with equal joy, "We have received as richly as we have given."
In 1945, Lions opened the nation's second eye bank in Boston.
Thanks, Mark. When I introduced myself, I forgot to tell you, I was diagnosed legally blind in 1982, so I've been blind for almost 40 years. Before I introduce Chad, your district representative, I want to just, I would just like to say, when they started, Lighthouse for the Blind is one of the companies that, in Seattle, was one of the companies that hired blind people to make brooms. Now they hire blind people to make airplane parts and Department of Defense parts for the military. If you fly on a Boeing 737, 7,000 pieces of that plane are made by blind people. Airbus also uses the same.
That's reassuring.
I love to tell people that when I'm flying. 7,000 pieces of this plane are made by blind people. But
that would reassure you. So perfect.
Yeah. Anyway, I'd like to introduce Chad Lewis, who is your district representative, to tell you. Some of you may already know him, but let him talk about blindness and Lions. So, thanks.
Thank you, sir. First of all, I want to say thanks to Doug Harvey, Governor, as having me as the chairperson for this district, but also just the fact that this has been so far just before I kind of tell you a little bit about myself.
He doesn't know his camera isn't showing him.
What? No, sorry, I thought someone was speaking.
Chad, yeah, your screen's down, or they're just seeing the top of your head.
I'm sorry, I was on my iPhone. I apologize. So far, the response just from talking to a lot of you guys, I've spoke with member with, has been very overwhelming, and just in talking with the needs of getting technology and getting an aspect of where people with full blindness and different levels of blindness. I'm partially blind. A lot of you might see me run without a cane. Sometimes I might run into a brick cement benches. But that's how I choose to live. And I've been blind for 2 years. I went blind about a little over 2 years ago with a disease called Leber's disease. And with that, I still have partial vision, 17. And he's a very successful financial advisor. He's the 0.05% in America for advisors. So a lot of it over the decades, with a lot of you have the ability to afford technology aspects of that, I think is a great instrument for the Lion to look at and to learn how we can better who are blind, but also teach Lions, those that are out there, with disability and blindness anyone else can do, but just in a different way. And learning how to see the needs of folks who are, newly blind, like my brother was 25 years ago, at 17, about to graduate from high school, or those like myself who are newly blind and kind of have a chip on their shoulder, but not really. I've not really been saddened by my loss. I've just kind of more taken it as a mountain just to kind of climb. But on the other hand, people ask me how that, if they have a question, if it's a question in regards to being fully blind, I would never answer that question. And I think that's why variations, different kinds of, you have different degrees of how long they've been blind. Also, you have many different levels of their support from family members or non-support from family members. So having a family like the Lions, especially for those who family that they've never had before, and it might be the one thing that kind of want to address is financial Lion. Andy's kind of gone over this with just the material and how it's presented to not just the visually impaired, but the people who actually can read it, and the different levels and the different ways of learning and seeing the material. And I think each of those, and also to learn from others and ways of making things easier and better to handle. Just a real quick story in regards to myself. I'm actually writing a book on traveling blind, and I have not changed. I used to travel the country working for ESPN as a photographer and working in the hotel industry. And I've been all around the world, and I'm still not changing that as a blind person. I'm just looking at it as a different perspective and traveling in a different way. So I think we can be teachers and stewards to all of us, and it's not just the blind, Knights of the Blind, teaching other line members and other folks. You can also learn of the Lions on how they could teach us on things that we might not have seen. So I think we could all learn from each other, and I don't know. A lot of it, I think, is I get a lot from the blind community. I don't know what I'm talking about because I've only been blind for 2.5 years, and I could say the same to them, that they need to get to learn technology. But I think it's one of those things that just we're all learning, and this is a great organization. And also, I look forward to speaking to every club, and I will drive myself if you want to any of the clubs around. I just expect you guys to have the liability on my car. So I appreciate your time. Thanks again, Doug, Harvey. Appreciate your willingness to have me as a chairperson for this group, and I look forward to future speaking engagements and any way I can help. So.
Thank you, Chad. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Chad mentioned teaching a lot, and that's what I do for a living. I'm a blind martial artist who has, Colette and I have our own studio, and I teach 2 different styles of martial arts. I'm also contracted with the state of a program that I teach for young blind people. It's called Sightless Self-Defense. So the blind people, young blind people, when they're going out into the world, know how to be more confident and have more safety involved in what they're doing in life. I didn't start martial arts until after I lost my sight, so I learned in the dark, and I still do it in the dark. I teach knife defense, stick defense. So I'd like to open it up for any questions because I don't want us to run out of time.
I just thought I would share a compassionate story. I am a retired hairdresser, and I had a mother and a blind daughter as clients. And this child, growing up, but she also was subject to seizures. And the older she got, the more she had seizures. And so it really impacted her life in many ways. But the fact that she was blind, and the part I want to share is, you know, we who have the fortune of having sight don't always have enough compassion for what people go through when they can't see. And so, you know, this young woman as a teenager would sit in my chair and I'd ask her how things were going, and she would explain things that meant a lot to her. And some response, and she would ask me, like a dog, maybe a pet, and she'd say, "What color is it? How big is it?" And so you mentioned, Andy, about being unable to describe. But it's really important, I feel, that when a blind person says, "Can you tell me what it looks like?" to do our best. And as an example, it's really nice out today. And she says, "What does that mean?" I said, "Well, there's sunshine." And one of the other things that I would do and have her feel that sunshine, or the fact that she said, "What color was it?" or "What does it feel like?" If it was something that was present that I was describing, I would hand it to her so she could touch it and feel it. You know, we operate on so many senses, not just vision. And I think that what I've learned from people, we had a Longview Pioneer Lion who went blind as an adult. And she has extra senses in other areas, more powerful than we who get to have sight, hearing, taste, feel, and smell, all those senses. So, you know, we have things to learn from you as a blind person as well. I just wanted to share that. I was very inspired by those people. It really develops a compassion when you are touched by someone who has a disability. And we don't want to call that, do we, Chad? It's not a disability.
And when I have people that will make compliments in regards to, I also volunteer at St. John's, and I'll wheel people out to their cars. I love people that have knee surgery because I'll wheel them and get to the yellow poles, and then I'll tell them I'm blind. And I will tell them that they get a free mocha if I act. So no, I don't take it as a disability, and quite frankly, I enjoy the challenge. It sounds bad to say that, but my hearing is really good. I mean, I can hear, you know, let's just say I've heard conversations that I'm not going to express out loud at the hospital, but people should not talk so quietly. So,
yeah, this is true. I'm sure you do. Thank you, Andy, for sharing this. The videos are awesome.
I wrote an essay in college once, and it said in my essay, I said all people are disabled. Some of it, sometimes it's just more visible.
So. This is Colette Arvidsson. I'm his wife. We've been married 30 years. And one of the things that I find that upsets him most, and it's just as a point of interest that people think, he'll be walking down the street with his guide dog. I'll be walking next to him, not attached in me anyway, and they will say to me, "How old is your dog?" And it's, or we'll be at a restaurant, and they'll ask me, "What does he want to eat?" Like, ask him. And I think it's something that maybe because we don't always know how to work with somebody who has some kind of a challenge that we see. We don't want to hurt their feelings or upset them, so we ask the other person. Which I think that's one thing, and I think the other thing I just want to say is there are so many lions who are getting older, as we all are, and I think it's important for us to know that a lot of people are losing their vision and they may not tell you. And there are things like that audio tapes of the Lions, of the MD-19, or not the MD-19, but the Lions magazine that can be available to anybody who wants them. Just let us know. And if you want copies of these, I'll be to share that. And we'll be sharing the information.
So Don was thanking. I think it's good. Well, what other things should we be concerned about? Like, what are the things we shouldn't be saying?
Well, I just want to say one quick thing before. I think Colette and Andy have more to say on that because I'm such a newbie to it. But I just want to say that towards you, Doug, and the whole from Centralia down to Vancouver. When I listen to the other regions, and it's nothing against the other regions, but I feel bad when I talk about our region and the excitement for Knights of the Blind and looking forward. We should be very appreciative of the people who we have in this region. And I have had nobody has had any kind of drawback, or I'm not sure. So, Early Birds have been amazing. Pioneer and everyone else has been really appreciative of what's going forward with this. So I just wanted to bring that to the attention of everyone and say thank you.
Well, thank you, Chad and Andy and Colette. I appreciate you coming on to my district conference. We were trying to do to get us more attuned to your situation. Anyway, it's time for us to leave and go back.
We have 10 minutes, don't we?
Well, according to the list that
Or maybe. Oh, okay. Oh, you're right. You're right. I'm sorry.
I was like
waiting for us. So.
No.
What blind clock do you have?
No, I have the little one that says remaining 9 minutes and 40 seconds. And I think that's just because the way the breakout rooms were set up. But don't hesitate to contact Chad as well as any. Oh, and it does say. Mark.
Okay, well, let's go on.
I guess we're going to go overtime a little bit.
If there's a little bit of time left, I would love to hear more about the Helen Keller program coming up in May.
Well, on Sunday, May 23rd, from 1 to 3, we're going to put on a presentation about Helen Keller, and we're going to have a 25-minute video from where she grew up, where she was raised when she was small, where she met Annie Sullivan in Alabama, and they have a presentation on. It's going to be really good. And then I'm going to talk again about Knights of the Blind in MD-19, and then Art's going to give an overview of the things that Knights of the Blind do to celebrate, or want us to do to celebrate Helen Keller in June. There's a package we're putting out. So it'll be from 1 to 3 on Sunday, May 23rd.
And we have sent that flyer to all the district governors. But again, if you want to either ask Chad or or get in touch with us through MD-19, and we will go ahead and get all of that information out to you. Unfortunately, we missed the deadline for the border crossing that would come out before this. But somebody asked the question of what else should you do when you meet a blind person? We found something really interesting on LCI's website. They have stuff that you never find. And if you look at LCI White Cane Days at Lights of the Blind at LCI is not about collecting money and standing out asking for money with a White Cane, 15th date of celebrating independence, safety, and mobility. And if you look at that one-page flyer they have, there is a link to etiquette when you meet a blind person and etiquette when you meet a guide dog and partner. So it gives you a lot of things that you can share with your club to be helpful in that.
What I try to tell people is I'm a human being trying to do human things. I may not see his world, and like Chad was talking about, we've been traveling all over the world until the pandemic. Been to Europe, all over Europe. Went to the Vatican twice, and I had the same tour guide over there both times. And the last time I was there, she took me on the ropes and took me in and let me touch the Pieta and everything. There's other people who had to stand outside the ropes and take pictures from a distance. I got to actually put my hands on it.